The fundamental unit of life. Robert Hooke saw that the cork resembled the structure of a honeycomb consisting of many little compartments. In 1665, Hooke called these boxes cells through a self-designed microscope. With the discovery of the electron microscope in 1940, it was possible to observe and understand the complex structure of the cell and its various organelles. Prokaryotes. Those organisms which lack a nuclear membrane are known as prokaryotes. Movement of substances into the cell. Some substances like carbon dioxide or oxygen can move across the cell membrane by the process known as diffusion. Process of diffusion. The spontaneous movement of a substance from a region of high concentration to a region of low concentration. The result of diffusion is a gradual mixing of material leading to equilibrium. For example, some substances like CO2 accumulates in high concentration inside the cell. In the cell's external environment, the concentration of CO2 is low as compared to the inside cell. As soon as there is difference of concentration of CO2 inside and outside a cell, CO2 moves out of the cell from a region of high concentration to a region of low concentration outside the cell by the process of diffusion. Similarly, O2 enters the cell by the process of diffusion when the level of concentration of O2 inside the cell decreases. Thus, diffusion plays an important role in gaseous exchange between the cells as well as the cells and its external environment. Osmosis. The movement of water molecules through such a selectively permeable membrane is called osmosis. It is the passage of water from a region of high water concentration through a semi-permeable membrane to region of low water concentration. Semi-permeable membrane, a membrane that will allow certain molecules of ions to pass through it by diffusion and osmosis. Permeability may depend on the solute size, solubility, and properties. What will happen if we put an animal cell into a solution of sugar or salt in water? One of the following three things could happen. Hypertonic solution. If the medium has a lower concentration of water than the cell, meaning that it is a very concentrated solution, the cell will lose water by osmosis. As a result, water leaves the cell and cells leads to shrink. Isotonic solution. If the medium has exactly the same water concentration as the cell, there will be no net movement of water across the cell membrane. As a result, water molecules continuously move into the cell and out of the cell. The concentration on both sides of semi-permeable membrane remains the same. Hypertonic solution. If the medium surrounding the cell has a higher water concentration than cell, meaning that the outside solution is very dilute, the cell will gain water by osmosis. As a result, water molecules enters the cell. As water molecules continue to enter into the cell becomes larger and larger. If water molecules continue to diffuse into the cell, it will cause the cell to swell up to the point that lysis or ruptures may occur. Animal cell. Surroundingly, outside of the cell is the cell membrane. This membrane is very thin, only 1/100,000th of millimeter thick. The cell membrane acts as a boundary between the cell and the environment outside, but also allows certain substances to pass in and out. Particles of food, for example, can enter through the membrane so that they can be used as raw material for manufacturing and is fuel for energy. Oxygen can also enter the cell to be used for burning fuel. Other things pass out of the cell through the membrane, including waste like carbon dioxide gas and important chemical products that the cell has manufactured. Inside the cell membrane, there are many different structures called organelles, which literally means little organ. One organelle, the nucleus, is the control center of the cell. The nucleus has a membrane that has pores in it. These allow certain molecules to enter or leave the nucleus. Inside the nucleus, there is fiber-like material called chromosomes. Chromosomes contains the cell genetic information which is in the form of blueprint. This genetic blueprint in the person chromosomes determine how different proteins are put together. These proteins are responsible for physical features such as color of the person's hair, eyes, etc. From the information contained in the chromosome blueprints, the nucleus sends messages to the cell cytoplasm, which makes up everything else that is inside the cell. Cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is the fluid content inside the plasma membrane. It also contains many specialized cell organelles. Each of these organelles performs a specific function for the cell. Some of the organelles are called endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum is a large network of membrane-bound tubes and sheaths. It serves as the cell assembly lines because they were protein products that are put together based on the instructions from the nucleus. They serve other functions as well. They provide transportation network. Among other things, they connect different organelles in the cell and allow them to exchange material. Endoplasmic reticulum is of two types: rough endoplasmic reticulum, smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Mitochondria. Mitochondria are known as the powerhouse of the cell because they are responsible for providing the cell the energy they need. Powerhouse of the cell. The outer membrane is very porous while the inner membrane is deeply folded. These folds create a large surface area for ATP generating chemical reactions. The energy needed for various life activities is released by mitochondria as ATP molecules. They are able to make their own proteins. Lysosomes. These contains chemicals called enzymes that digest small food particles that are passed into the cell. Waste disposal system of the cell help to keep the cell clean by digesting any foreign material as well as worn out cell organelles. Garbage disposal system of a cell have powerful enzymes capable of digesting or even breaking down all organic material. The Golgi apparatus. Another kind of organelle, the Golgi bodies, are the cell's packaging centers. Here proteins are mixed with other chemicals and enclosed in bubbles-like containers that then break away and move to the cell membrane when the contents are released from the cell. The storage, modification and packaging of products in vesicles. Complex sugars may be made from simple sugars in the Golgi apparatus, involved in the formation of lysosomes. Plant cell. Plant cell contains vacuoles, storage sacs for solid or liquid contents, small sized in animal cells, while plant cells have very large vacuoles. The central vacuoles of some plant cells may occupy 50 to 90% of the cell volume. chloroplast. Site of photosynthesis in plant cells. Convert solar energy and carbon dioxide to chemical energy. Contains chlorophyll that captures light pigment which gives chloroplast its green color. Cell wall protects the cell from bursting by providing an outer shell to it.